Okay, let me get this situated. And of course I'm getting an ad for my live as I'm trying to see what I'm doing. All right, and my volume is off. Okay, I think we are all set. There are 4 of you here. Hello. I'm gonna wait and give it a few more minutes for people to show up and chat, but hello, Kyle's mom. But if any of you have anything you'd like to say, go right ahead as we're waiting. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I'm feeling a little drained or something today, but I think I might know why, but I'll talk about that shortly. So I hope everyone's been having a great day so far. Hello, Alan. I know Alan's at the end of his day over in the UK. So I hope you had a good day. And I hope everyone is doing well. Yes, may the 4th be with you. Definitely. I love Star Wars. I do tend to like Star Trek a little bit more, but I like them both. I enjoy them both for different reasons. Hi, Ro. Oh, you're on the road? Hopefully you're going somewhere fun. Hi, Chris. Oh, that's very sweet, Karen. Thank you. Actually, I've heard that from a few people. Hi, Linda Jean. Hey, Nancy. Yeah, I found a few people who have ordered cookbooks for their friends, so I really do appreciate that, or at least shared the information about the cookbook with them. And I've been actually seeing, oh, Chris, I love that French toast. I've been seeing a lot of people sharing the recipes in the Facebook group, the recipes with Roy Facebook group, and even the Slim Win on occasion. And it's really nice to see. I see more people sharing the food now that the cookbook is out than just from the videos. Alan, I know you are because I saw that picture of you on your Facebook page, and I was looking. I had a picture of myself, I don't know how long ago it was, probably like 30 years ago, and I was on, I was in the outfit like you were, and I was on Deep Space Nine instead of on the Enterprise. Awesome, Chris. See, and that's one thing I always try to do is when I create these recipes, like I always say, I always know that it's ready to share when it's Paul approved, because I know if he'll enjoy it, anybody else who's not on a weight loss journey will as well. Yeah, I can't find that picture, Alan. I don't know where it is. I hope I can find it sometime. I've got things all over the place here. I really have to sort things out. And while we are talking about Alan's picture and mine, I will share a link to his channel. And there, that's Alan's channel. He did a live with me a couple of weeks ago, if any of you saw that, where we were talking about his work that he was doing, trying to raise funds for the Stroke Association, and he did an awesome job, got it done, went over what he was hoping to get, so good job, Alan, on that. But one of the things I'm going to start off with is, oh, first, before I get into anything else, next week, next Saturday, there won't be a live because we have something we need to do over at Paul's aunt's house. And many of you may know that she passed a little while ago. So we have things that we have to take care of over there. So there will be no live next Saturday because we have things to take care of. Yeah, Alan, I agree. And anytime you want to do another live with me, let me know. And actually, just so you know, you don't have to have a YouTube channel to do a live with me. If you're interested in doing a live, just let me know and we will set that up. You don't have to have your own channel. You just have to have your phone or however you want to connect. And that's all you need. But the weigh-in for this week was not as good as I was hoping. It wasn't horrible, but I was up 0.6, which I kind of expected. I only had 2 days, I think, that was really on plan, and the other days, they weren't far off plan, but they were far enough off that I knew, yeah, it wasn't going to be in the negative that week. But it is what it is. I own it. I'm not making any excuses. I know what I did. And part of it is the nighttime snacking. As many of you know, we've talked about that before. And it always gets me. And it's almost like once I start, I go crazy, and it's like my mind just shuts off and goes into this other mode that is a challenge to get out of. But I've done it before, so I know I can do it again. So I just have to keep working at it. And that's the main thing I've mentioned before. Before, when I got to my goal weight, I would just give up and not give up. But I'd say, okay, I'm done. That's it. Thinking of it as a destination rather than the journey that it is. So I have to keep just working at it, and I am. So that is a win as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Chris, I hear a lot of people talking about the nighttime snacking, and it's, I don't know, but I did look at a few things. I was thinking of doing that as a topic this week, but I decided to switch and go with motivation because I think that kind of ties in with it as well. Hello, Catherine. Yeah, Alan, it's like, it's almost like something gets shifted, like a gear clicks over, it's almost like a railroad track. When you're going down, but they have that switch where you can turn and go off this way instead of this way. It's like someone pulls that shift, I go off this way and I just keep going. I have to find a way to route myself back onto the track that I know I should be on. That's a great idea, Chris. Chris was saying that they started saying the kitchen is closed at 7 p.m. If you do want something, it has to be a veggie or fruit. That is a great idea. My problem is that we usually do eat later in the day, so it's a little difficult to shut it down in that way. But I do have to give myself a time limit and say, after this, nothing. Yeah, Nancy, that seems to be very, nighttime seems to really get to people. I don't know why. I think it's, one of the things that I was reading, as I was saying, a lot of times they say maybe you're not eating enough during the day, and that when it comes to nighttime, you're just trying to get the calories that you missed out on. You may be within your bites or points or whatever you're doing, but maybe you're not getting enough calories. I've also read that eating small meals throughout the day can be helpful because you're keeping yourself satisfied throughout the day rather than eating like the 3 big meals, you eat like 6 smaller meals. Basically, breakfast, lunch, and dinner with little snacks in between. So maybe something like that will be helpful too. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Catherine. Yeah, I've already had a lot of people saying they made the French toast already. And if you didn't see the French toast I did yesterday morning, um, it's a banana custard French toast, but you don't have to do bananas. Um, you can do whatever fruit you want. I've done it with pineapple and bananas. I've done it with berries. So you don't have to make a banana, but I really do like the banana in there. And I was looking around for my phone. I'm looking at it. Sometimes just can't get out of my own way. Um, but as I said, oh, and before I forget, let me share a Rose channel over here because I will get distracted. Hi, Rosie, California. Must be very nice out there. There is Rose channel. She also does Slimming World, and she is changing things up as she needs to make things work for her, which I think is exactly what you need to do. If something's not working as is, you have to find a way to make it work for you. Oh, Rosie, Rosie, I'm glad you enjoyed that French toast too. Yeah, everyone is. I think that's one of the fastest ones that people started making. Like the video only came out yesterday, and I've already had like 6, 7 people say that they made it already. So that one seems to have been a popular one. So I need a little bit of coffee and a little bit of lubrication for my throat. But as I was saying, the topic I had picked for today was motivation, because I think part of that also ties in with the nighttime eating, because when I was motivated before, there was no nighttime eating. So I think that is helpful. Oh, Catherine, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Alan, I really think you're going to like it. I mean, so far it's gotten a lot of people really enjoying it, so I'm sure you'll be one of them. And I like how versatile it is. You don't have, whatever you have on hand, if you have some fruit in the fridge that's about to go bad, use that up. But for the motivation, I did talk about this in one of my truck talks a while ago about how I think motivation is kind of a myth. And I actually Google searched for that, and I found an article that I'm going to read to you from Psychology Today. Hey, Scott, how are you? Token number 2 is in the house. But I think because everyone is concerned with finding motivation, and when they can't, they were like, oh, well, I'll just give up. But I think if you hear this, and I also have an email from Healthy regarding motivation that I will also read, but I wanted to read this one from Psychology Today because it gives a more, like a better spin on it than I think most people look at it. Most people look at motivation like, oh, I'm just not motivated. I guess I'll have to wait until I get the motivation. And that's not the way it should be. And this article is actually called The Myth of Motivation. Stop searching for motivation and start taking massive action. The key points in here is committed action comes first and motivation comes second. Committed actions are consistent with a person's values or who they want to be, and the mind never stops offering its objections to action, which means taking action can seem impossible until one actually does it. Now, that's just the summary, the key points. But I know for me, I could just sit and relax, watch TV, let myself, hi Anna Maria, let myself just, I'll get to it. But once I actually do it, I feel much better about, doing something. But it's just taking that first step. I don't know what is going on with my throat. Hopefully some warm coffee will help. But sometimes all it takes is that action, just a little bit. Hi, Rachel. Just a little bit of action to start you in the right direction. I apologize. Good morning, Jackie. Hope you're having a good day so far. So the article goes, true or false, in order to get anything done, you have to feel motivated to do it first. That is false. As I've been talking about for a while now, waiting around for motivation is sometimes, I think, a crutch for people. No, Anna Maria, Bree is not on here. I keep talking to her about trying to do a live with me, and she is thinking about it. So hopefully if she watches this, Bree, you're being requested for a live, so come on, get on it. Hey, I miss her videos too, Anna Maria. That's okay, Rachel. I've been called many things, and it's not a bad thing to be called Ro. I'll take it. However, if you're like most people out there, you answered true and are more likely to fall into the motivation trap. What is the motivation trap? The motivation trap, as stated by Dr. Russ Harris, states that we wait to feel motivated before we take any action. Now you might be asking, what's the problem with that? The problem is, if you're always waiting for motivation to hit, you may be waiting for your whole life. While you're waiting on motivation, motivation is actually waiting on you, because committed actions come first and motivation comes second. Let me give you an example. Have you ever felt like staying at home and watching TV, not being motivated at all to go to the gym? I know I have. Yeah, me too. But have you ever also noticed that you sometimes went to the gym and not only felt better about yourself, but were more motivated to go back later? That is because motivation does not precede action. Action precedes motivation. So, as I was saying, that whole thing about waiting for motivation to hit, I don't agree with that. Rosie, you're having problems getting the Healthy app? I don't know why that would be. How long did you wait? Has it been a little while since you were waiting for the email? Because I know sometimes things are a little delayed sometimes, but then I've had the same thing happen where I've signed up for something or done something and it's just not showing up for some reason. Anna Maria, you're doing WW again, getting some weight back, still doing ketone supplements to help. Yeah, I understand that feeling. Oh, 2 weeks, Rosie? Oh. I don't know. I mean, are you sure that the email was put in correctly? Maybe because I know I've messed up, especially if I have a little spasm while I'm typing something in. I sometimes hit the wrong letter or things like that. So maybe you want to check and see, make sure the email is correct. I don't know why it would take that long. But Anna Maria, I'm in the same boat with you. I have gained back some weight that I am working on getting off, and it's not it's not that easy. Okay, Rosie, I hope it works. this time. I don't know why it would be delayed, but I have had problems with getting responses back from Healthy sometimes. So I don't know. Hopefully you can get that sorted. And let's see. Okay, so let's see. Did you lose all your weight? Just wait. Jackie, I did not exercise to lose the weight. I think it would have come off faster maybe if I did, but because of my physical issues, exercise is difficult. I did towards the end start doing some of the Leslie Sansone walking videos. There were some steps in there that I had difficulty with because my muscles and nerves don't like to work the way I want them to work sometimes. So there were a few steps that I would have difficulty with, but when I came to that, I would just step in place. But overall, I lost the weight without doing any exercise. Because, as my friend Dee, Dish with Dee, if any of you follow her, as she said, if you are not going to be exercising after you've lost the weight, exercising to lose the weight may not be the best idea, because if you just stop exercising, then your body's going to be like, oh, okay, we're not doing that now, so I can store some of this. So it may not have the best effect overall if it's not something you're going to keep up. And I know that I'm not the type who enjoys exercise. I don't mind going out for a walk or something, but it's also a little more challenging for me. But you don't have to exercise to lose weight. That I do know. I think for some people, maybe that is not the case. I think some people, they do need to have more movement and just can't rely on food. But for me, I didn't have to exercise. All right, so the article continues. I don't just mean any action, I mean committed action, valued action. What is valued action? Valued actions are actions that are consistent with your values in life. These are actions that are consistent with the type of person you want to be. I value staying healthy, so I set a goal for myself to go exercise at least 4 days a week. My valued action is getting my butt up and going to the gym regardless of whether I am in the mood or not. Oh, you did get the embroidered apron, Rosie? I appreciate that. Yeah, I love it. And I love how the neck is adjustable. Like you pull the strings to tie and it makes the neck go up and down because it's all one continuous cord. I really do enjoy that. I'm glad you're enjoying it too, Rosie. All right, so what is the alternative? I sit at home and wait for motivation to strike. I don't know about you, but when I do this, it seems that watching TV begets watching TV. Using drugs begets using more drugs. I've worked with so many clients who were waiting for the motivation to do things that would make them happier, whether it was exercising more, studying more, using drugs less often, etc. And what I tell them is that you just have to start. Just start and see what happens. You may not be motivated all the time, but see what happens to your motivation when you start acting in ways that are consistent with your values. Like I was saying before, it's like if I just sit around and wait to feel motivated to go do the dishes or what have you, I might not do it because it's just so easy to just stay sitting there. But once I do it, I feel much better about myself and about the situation. Yeah, Rosie, I love that adjustable strap because it's like, then, you know, I'm tall, so I can have it come down in a position. Some aprons, it's like, you know, they're a little too high up, a little too low, so I appreciated that. All right, so oh, your mind will constantly try to steer you away from committed action by saying things like, I'll do it later, or I'll have more time tomorrow. I'm sure many of us have been like, all right, well, I've already blown the diet today. I'll start again tomorrow, kind of thing. You don't have to wait for the next day. You can do it the next hour, the next 10 minutes. You don't have to wait until the next day. It doesn't have to be like a fresh new day in order to start. It could be a fresh new hour, a fresh new minute. Your mind will try to tell you you can't do it or you're not good enough. However, those are all tricks. The funny thing about the mind is that it doesn't stop talking. Taking action may seem impossible until you actually do it. So let's recap. What are the steps to gain motivation? Well, in some ways, it's just one step. Take action. Take committed, valued action. Figure out what you value in your life. For example, close relationships with family and friends, staying healthy, productive career, etc. And start doing whatever it is that you value. If you focus on action and not on motivation, you may notice that the idea of motivation was all a myth. So I don't know if any of you can relate to that as much as I can, but I often would wait, like even with my writing. Oh, I just don't feel motivated. But then when I actually do sit down and start doing it, I definitely feel better and am more motivated the next day to keep going. So there's another email here on how to find your motivation from Healthy. And this one's covers some of the same things, but it also gives you some steps that might help to get you to that point. One of the key factors in achieving your goals is finding and maintaining motivation. Rose said, taking positive action by making a change, however small, gives us a positive result, which motivates us to continue. Yeah, it's like a snowball effect. Once you've done something and it feels good, you've done it, you're more motivated to do it again the next time. Motivation is like a fire that fuels your commitment and drive, pushing you to stay on track even when faced with challenges. Many sometimes wonder when motivation will strike. In reality, again, as the other article says, motivation comes by action. It starts with that first step, then motivation joins in as you progress. Let's discuss some tips to help create and sustain motivation throughout your weight loss journey. Luigi, how are you? Glad to see you here. And if you people wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up while I'm thinking about it, that would be helpful. And now let's go over some tips for creating motivation. One is to set clear goals. Define your weight loss goals clearly, whether it's a certain number on the scale, fitting into a specific clothing size, or improving your overall health. Having a clear target can help keep you focused and motivated. And that's one thing when I was teaching, we always used to talk about SMART goals, having SMART goals that, they have to be specific. Oh, you're welcome, Ro. You need specific, you need to be able to measure them. So setting a goal and making it as precise as possible is very important. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. It could just be like, I want to fit into this outfit by such and such a date. Give yourself a time frame. You may not reach that time frame, but I have a direction. If you have to push that time frame out, you have to push it out. But you are at least setting a time frame and trying to get somewhere. Find your why. Understand why you want to lose weight. Is it to feel more confident, improve your health, have more energy? Knowing your reasons can give you a sense of purpose and drive. And I know WW talks about that all the time as well. What is your why? And having that, keeping that in mind is very helpful. You could even put pictures up on your refrigerator, like say you're wanting to make sure that you're around for your children or grandchildren. You want to fit into a certain outfit. Putting a picture on the fridge to remind you, maybe even in your cabinets as well, if that's where you keep things that you might go to. Keeping motivational pictures of your why could definitely help in the long run, because you are looking at it every time you go to the refrigerator or the cabinet. Visualize success. Imagine yourself achieving your goals. Visualizing your success can make it feel more real and attainable, motivating you to take action. Now, I know if a lot of you are like me, where you kind of want to do things but aren't sure you can do them, that's a little more challenging, because if you have doubts, oh, well, I've tried to lose weight before, I don't know if I can do it this time. Take that and get rid of it. That is in the past. Set a goal and visualize that success. Visualize yourself in that dress, in that outfit, in whatever, in a family photo where you're feeling great about yourself. Having those visualizations of success, keep reminding yourself it's not going to be just like, okay, I visualized it and that's it. You have to keep doing it. Track your progress, which if you're using any sort of app, usually you are tracking your progress. Keep track of your progress, whether it's through measurements, photos, or a journal. Seeing how far you've come can boost your motivation to keep going. So, if you do look back at the app where it stores your weight inputs and see those numbers that have gone down, you can do it. Or if you've done it in previously and had issues, correct, Lou. The scale is not the end-all, be-all. It's more, honestly, how you feel about yourself. And, that usually leads you to becoming the person you want to be, whether it's weight loss or whatever it is. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge and celebrate your achievements along the way, no matter how small. This can help you stay positive and motivated. And I will confess, I had an issue with my truck where my battery died, seemingly. Hi, Dormouse. And I was going to get my inspection sticker done. I couldn't start the truck. So I jumped it and got it going, went to the place and told them I needed my inspection sticker, but I also needed them to check the battery. There was nothing wrong with the battery. I don't know why it died, but I couldn't get the inspection sticker because I had to drive like 80 miles. I don't know, something, I don't understand vehicles really, except how to drive it, and even there. But I had to drive 80 miles to get the data reactivated, because if they had done it after the battery died, my data would have been wiped. So I don't know. Anyways, I had to do a lot of driving. They said about 80 miles. So I needed a destination. I did the first day 40 miles. Then the next day I was like, okay, I still need more. So I went to Walmart, did a little shopping. Then last night I went out to get the last bit so I could get my inspection done today. And this is a roundabout way of saying I stopped at Target and I bought some things that I should not have bought, because I saw they had these little smokers peeps and I was like, oh, those are tasty. And then I saw these little s'mores candies, and I bought them. Shouldn't have bought them. I know that. Um, but I got in the truck. As I'm driving, I'm snacking away. But the whole point of this and celebrating small wins was I started feeling like, I know this is wrong. So I took the rest of the candies, whatever I had, and threw them out. Earlier, I would have been like, but I spent the money on them. I really should just finish them up. I didn't care about that. I just threw them out. So that was a small victory right there. So you have to take those little victories along the way. And it doesn't matter how small. It could be anything of you passed up a second portion or you did something else. But, you know, those non-scale victories are definitely victories. So don't discount them just because the number on the scale might not be where you want it to be. Any little victory is a victory. Stay inspired. Surround yourself with inspiration. Follow fitness influencers, read success stories, or create a vision board to remind yourself of your goals and inspire you to keep going. And I think part of the reason I decided to do these lives on Saturday is motivation. It's going to keep me more accountable. I'm going to be more inspired to come on here and tell you, oh, I had a loss this week or what have you. But I think the communities that we've started with YouTube, the Facebook groups, I think that is inspiration, joining in there. Speaking of the Facebook groups, if any of you are part of the Recipes with Roy Facebook group, I was trying to start meetings, kind of like WW meetings, and I was trying to do it through Facebook. It turned out to be a whole big problem. So I am going to be doing a meeting on Mondays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, but through Zoom because it was just getting way too convoluted trying to do it through Facebook because you have to kind of put people into a group chat and then people were getting messages they didn't want. It's just easier to do it in Zoom. So if you're part of the Recipes with Roy Facebook group, I did share a link to the Zoom meeting for Monday, so that is where we will be having the meeting. Anyway, but that was saying, you know, is a way of inspiring people. Join a group like that. Join Facebook groups. Check out your favorite YouTubers, things like that. Anything to keep you going. And stay consistent. Consistency is the key to success. Establish healthy habits and routines that support your goals and stick to them even when your motivation wanes. And again, that's action. Even not eating something is an action. And that not eating something is like, look, I was successful today. I didn't eat this. I didn't eat that. Even though it's not doing something, it's an action that is positive and will help you with your motivation. And finally, seek support. Share your goals with friends, family, or a support group. Having a supportive community can provide encouragement and accountability. As I was saying, YouTubers, Facebook groups, whatever you need, WW meetings. I think Healthy even does meetings now, although I think I saw that you have to pay for them. I'm not positive because I haven't joined them. But definitely keeping some sort of support there. And sometimes, I know, sometimes family is not as supportive as you would hope. So you have to find it elsewhere and not rely on your family if they are not being as supportive as you would like. I know some people see change in others as a little discomforting for them. Like, what is this going to mean for me? But don't worry about that. Don't worry about them. Focus on yourself. That's what this is all about. And Rose says, I really believe that our support groups also help us to feel better about what we're trying to do. I think this helps to push us in a good direction. I agree, Ro. It definitely has helped. As I mentioned, I'm part of a Slim Win group with Ro and Alan and a few others. And we have a chat Mondays earlier in the day. And I found that very helpful. Chris, that's very good that your family is supportive. And that's one of the things, like I said, when I do my recipes, I try not to make them diet food that people are going to be like, ooh, I'm not eating that. I try to make it so it's accessible to everyone in the family and not just the person who's losing weight. And from the feedback I've gotten, it seems like for the majority of people, their husbands, their wives, their children are like, oh, this is really good. Or even their parents. I had someone, Gina, who's been posting every day a new recipe that she's made from the cookbook. And if you're looking for the cookbook, by the way, it's going to be linked down below. But she's been posting things, and actually she did, I think it was the chicken enchilada lasagna, and she brought it out to her father and mother, I believe, and her father was like, oh my God, this looks good. Is this another recipe from Roy? So I try to make it so that everybody's going to be enjoying it. It's not going to be diet food. This is what you need to eat to keep yourself healthy. It's not a diet. This is a new way of eating for many of us. The last thing in this email from Healthy, remember motivation can fluctuate, and that's okay. It's normal to have ups and downs on your journey. By implementing these strategies, you can create a foundation of motivation that will support you throughout your weight loss journey. And I think that's where a lot of us sometimes get tripped up is, oh, I messed up. I really messed up. And that just puts you into a spiral. You feel bad about yourself. So then you kind of comfort yourself with some more food, and then you spiral about that, and it's just a vicious cycle. We're all going to have ups and downs. We're going to take wrong turns. That's just the nature of a journey. So don't let that stop you from keeping your focus, keeping going. If you take a little detour, get right back on track and keep going. So those were the articles that I had to read for you. I hope that you got some information that you needed, or at least some idea of how to get that motivation back if you are missing it. Is there anything anyone wants to celebrate? Anything anyone wants to say? Now would be the time to do so. You're welcome, Catherine. I hope it helps. I think hearing from each other, whether it's victories, relapses, detours, what have you, is very helpful because we can kind of help to guide each other. Like, hey, come back over here. We're heading this way, not that way. That kind of thing. So that's why I think all of these supports are so good, having you guys here on my weight loss journey. Oh, thank you, Catherine. I really appreciate that. I hope to be. This is great. I'm going to start at the beginning once the video is published. Yes, and another thing that reminded me of that, Lou, if you're watching this on the replay and you're not seeing the chat, For some reason, it takes about a day for the chat to catch up. So you can listen to this obviously without seeing the chat, but sometimes if you want to catch what was being said and what I'm responding to, um, watch it about it 24 hours later. That's right, Alan. We are all here to help each other, and we have to support each other. We're all going through the same thing. It may look a little different for each of us, but we all know the difficulty of trying to lose weight, trying to keep that weight off. I mean, I was great for 3 years, and then I started gaining a little bit, and I kind of like would overlook it. Oh, it's just a couple of pounds. But each time, you too, Anna Maria, thank you for stopping by. But, you know, you kind of just have to keep moving on. But anyone have any non-scale victories? Any scale victories? Hey, Yolanda, nice to see you. Anything that you want to share in this supportive environment? That would be lovely if you have anything. Or also if you have any requests. I've kind of been falling behind on new recipes, but I am working on things. But if there are any things that you want to try to see another lighter version of, let me know and I will add it to my list. No one has any victories or anything they want to chat about? That's fine. But I guess if nobody has anything they'd like to share or say, oh, I'm glad, Yolanda. I think it helps me as well to do these lives. It's keeping me more accountable than just doing my weekly videos. And also more accountable than just sharing my weigh-in, because I don't get any feedback, I don't get any chat, which I think personally is helpful for me. Awesome, Kyle's mom's doing some laundry. That is, believe me, I know, motivation. I didn't talk about tempting sweets this time, Yolanda. What we were talking about was motivation, which does kind of tie in with that, I suppose, because motivation is a lot of this. And they were talking about, instead of waiting for taking action, instead of waiting for motivation before taking action, you have to take the action and then the motivation comes after. So even with sweets, and I will add that, actually, I'll put that down. There's no live next Saturday, but the Saturday after, I will put sweets down as the topic for that week. So that way, that will be on the list. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly, Ro. I was like, I knew I could just keep eating them. I could say, well, I don't want to waste the money, because that has often been my whole motivation. Well, something's going to go bad in the fridge. I have to eat it because I don't want to just throw it out, waste that money. So I said, no, no, no. If I let them sit here, I'm going to keep going, get rid of them. Well, Yolanda, yard work is very important, and you can catch up on the replay. As I said, make sure you do it like 24 hours later if you want to see the chat. But I will definitely cover sweets and that kind of thing in the next one. Not next week, but the week after that. Um, I've used a couple of different ones, Pamela, and I really enjoy I've been using lately the Splenda brown sugar, not the blend. That's the one that has actual brown sugar as well as a lower calorie substitute. But the regular brown sugar, I mean, not regular, but just the brown sugar, check the back of the package, it will say 0 calories. I've also used, oh, what are the names of those? Um, I will find the names and I will pin that comment down below of what brown sugars I have used and enjoyed. Because there are a few that I've actually enjoyed and they didn't have any sort of aftertaste, which is a big thing here. We don't like to have that cooling aftertaste and that kind of thing. So I will find the names of those and comment that and pin it down here. Actually, I can do it right here while I'm chatting with you because I can just call up YouTube and find my brown sugar replacements. But let's see. It is, oh, come on. But I have used a few and I do enjoy the ones, just bought the book, can't wait to try the recipes. Oh, awesome, Pamela. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of good feedback on the cookbook. And let me search brown. Because I usually get my stuff through Amazon just because it's so much easier to find. Okay, so the Splenda is called Magic Baker Brown. I've also used the So Nourished Gold Brown Sugar Alternative. And I know there was, oh, Bestie, Wholesome Young, Wholesome, hello, I can't speak anymore. Wholesome Yum Bestie Brown Sugar Replacement. I will link to those down below. I will add this to the description box as well as pinning it as a comment down below just so you have that information if you need it. I don't have a creamy Joan. I know my pal Wendy had a creamy and she used it quite a bit and then stopped using it. But I have just not been able to afford getting a creamy, so I don't actually know what specifically would happen, but I know Wendy did do a few recipes on hers. Wendy's weight loss journey, I believe she's changed her name to. Wendy's wellness journey. I know she did some creamy recipes, so you might want to check her out. And let me link that for you here, because I do happen to have her page here in case she showed up. But you can check there, check her channel, and you can like type in creamy in her videos so that you can find just those recipes. Oh, I agree, Dormouse. It's like I've noticed I've filled up different measuring cups and then tested my glasses and things like that as well. And it is surprising how some of them are either far bigger or far smaller than I expected, usually far bigger. So I'm actually getting more of something than I think I am. So that is a very smart idea. Oh, you're welcome, Lori. I hope that it is helpful to you. I know it's been helpful to me to do these. But you know, it's helpful for me to, like I said, have accountability. Have an accountability buddy if it's not something that you want to do publicly like this. But have someone that you can contact or call or chat with about, oh, I'm really struggling with this, struggling with that, or even just sharing your victories, no matter how small they are. Thank you, Ro. I appreciate that. All right, so if no one has anything else that they would like to share, request, what have you, we will end it here. Oh, thank you, Rosie. I'm glad you are. I knew I wanted to kind of like do something a little more than just sharing the recipes, which is great. It's a lot of people are enjoying them, but I wanted to share more than just the recipes if I could. So I'm glad you're appreciating it. Thank you, Chris. You have a great weekend. And don't forget to thumbs up this live if you haven't, and I would really appreciate that. And I guess that will be it for this week. Again, next week there will be no live. There will be one the following week, but you'll see the notification that it's going to be coming up, so you don't have to worry about missing out. Oh, you're welcome, Nancy. All right, I guess that ends it. Let's go start some action and find some motivation. So let's all go do something, get ourselves motivated. So until next time, bye.